Hello, welcome to Yoga with Mom. I hope you're doing well today. We are having a mat class this morning. This class is going to be a little bit different, so I want you to listen up for just a second. This class is not going to be an on-the-ground yoga mat class. It's going to be a standing only class. So we're going to be doing poses while we're standing and a couple while we kneel, but we are not going to be laying down on the mat at all, on our front or our back, anything like that. We are going to be standing on our feet. Because I know that a lot of times people are scared of yoga and other exercises because mobility is not always a thing that we've got. And some days, maybe your back hurts, maybe you don't want to get up and down on the ground. So I'm trying something a little new today, and we're gonna do just a standing only class. So it's new to me. I think it's gonna be fun. I really would appreciate it if you tried it out, and please let me know in the comments what you feel about this class. I'm always down to experiment and try new things, so I hope you are too. All right, let's get started. And like I said, this is not a class, a chair class. This is a mat class. So if you're here for a chair class, this is not the right video for you. Please grab on something else. We got a bunch of other fun videos. This is for our friends that are working on our legs and our cores today, and we're standing. All right, so once you're ready, let's get standing on the mat. I'm gonna make my way back here, and we're gonna start in a nice, strong, tall position. So I'm gonna start in my mountain pose. So I'm really gonna press all four corners of my foot down into the ground. Think of your foot as a square, pressing down, long and strong. I wanna drop my shoulder blades down my back, really push my shoulders back, my chest pushes forward, and I reach through the tips of my fingers, nice and strong. The crown of my head is reaching so I feel as tall as possible, and I'm really stretching myself up, nice and strong. And here I'm working to engage all of the muscles, all the way from the top of my head down to my fingertips and my toes. This pose can be so easy just to stand here and not engage any muscles, but I'm really pressing into everything, stretching and reaching tall, pushing my chest out a bit, that heart space, I really want to push it forward, drop those shoulders down my back, really reaching tall, breathing nice and strong. Keep breathing and reaching. Nice strong inhales and exhales. I really press those toes into the mat, stretch those fingers long, really stretching. There we go. Deep breath in and exhale. Inhale deep, stretch a little bit, stretcher, and exhale. Let's do one more big breath in and exhale. All right, let's shake those muscles out a little bit. All right, fantastic. So now I want you to reach your arms all the way up to the sky, nice and tall. Really stretch those arms up. Really stretch and reach. You can wiggle your fingers of your hands a little bit. Really stretching tall. And I want you just to slowly swoop yourself down towards the mat, reaching towards the ground. You don't have to reach all the way down to the ground. If you are reaching to your calves, that's perfectly fine. You can hold on to your thighs. You can make it all the way to the ground. That's fantastic. We just want to gently reach ourselves down towards the ground. We're just warming up our bodies right now, so this isn't a perfect stretch. This is a start to getting ourselves warmed up. And as I stay here, I'm going to really try to stretch, really feel in that lower back. And as always, during my practice today, I'm standing next to a railing on my deck. You can see it in the background. And I think it's a wonderful thing for you also to have a place to grab onto. We're going to do several exercises involving balance, and I'm going to be holding on at some point, so I invite you to do the same. But I'm going to keep stretching back down. And here I want to invite you to bend your knees a little bit so that you can plant your fingertips on the ground. Because I want to bend my knees and lift my heels up off the ground so I'm standing on my toes. So I'm balancing on my toes and my fingertips here. Really stretching, trying to feel those hips. I'm really reaching my hips up towards the sky. Kind of like the angle of a downward dog when I'm stretched all the way long. There we go. I'm starting to feel it in my hamstrings, which is fantastic. Perfect. Let's set our heels down. Stretch our arms back up towards our hips. We're gonna roll ourselves gently back up to standing. And I want you just to turn your head side to side here. Slowly going side to side. Trying to gently stretch a little bit further over your shoulder as you turn. And I invite you to move your jaw a little bit, a little up and down, a little side to side as you stretch back and forth. So we're gonna go at our own pace here for a few more breaths, just stretching side to side, trying to stretch just a little bit further and moving that jaw. There you go, really open up that neck as we stretch. All right, perfect. Let's take our hands, interlace them, bring them behind your head. And I'm gonna use the pressure of my hands to just gently push forward on my head. And I'm gonna push my head just gently backwards. So by pushing my head into my hands, I'm using a little bit of pressure to stretch a little bit further, but I'm not pushing so hard that I'm straining any muscles, you know? So I'm just using a little bit of my body in gravity to help. We can also bend our head down a little bit, maybe planting our chin on our chest. And then use those hands to pull a little bit on our neck. This way we can't really strain ourselves too hard, but again, we're not pulling hard on our hands. And from here, I want you just to twist a little bit side to side, like you're saying no, while keeping your chin glued. I'm moving my elbows, trying not to get them, they're not stretched all the way out, but I'm trying not to get them to touch each other. So I want to keep some space in between those elbows. All right, that's a pretty good neck stretch. I don't know how it feels for you, but it's pretty good on my end. So I feel like I've warmed up a little bit more. Let's keep going. So I'm gonna take those hands and interlace them again, right behind my back. I'm gonna pull my arms down. My shoulders go from in front to back. So I wanna pull them back like that. Stretch those shoulder blades down my back. There you go. My feet are nice and planted on the ground. And while I reach and stretch those hands down, I'm gonna gently forward fold my body. And as I fold my body, I reach my arms up to the sky. If I can't reach the arms up, that's all right. It's all about shoulder mobility right there. So if I want to keep them down my back, that's fine. If I can reach them up a little bit, even better. Listen to your body, to what feels good right now. And just remember to breathe. And you can always, of course, have a slight bend in your knees. The most important thing is to not lock them out backwards. There we go. And I'm just breathing and stretching. Let's take one more big breath here. And then we're gonna roll ourselves back up to standing. Fantastic. All right, let's get those arms warmed up a little bit more. So I'm gonna reach my arms out in front of me and I'm gonna do some wrist circles. So whatever way you wanna start with is perfectly fine because we're gonna switch sides as we always do. But we'll start spinning those circles. Circle, circle, circles, very nice job. There you go, and as we go, we're gonna make our circles slowly bigger and bigger, eventually getting our elbows involved a little bit. And then the circles will just keep growing and growing until we have our shoulders all the way involved, making big windmill arms, and just being mindful to keep our feet nice and planted so we're stable as we really around those arms into big circles. Maybe we're twisting a little bit on our waist, getting some movement that way. Big circles. Big circles. All right, for 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring those arms back to center. All right, you know what we're doing. Wrist circles going the opposite way. So start them small. Mine are going counterclockwise now. And they're slowly gonna get bigger and bigger. And there we go. As they slowly get bigger, we eventually get our elbows involved into this, making those bigger circles. Really starting to feel it in our arms here. Let's get them bigger and bigger until we have our nice windmill arms. Big old circles. And maybe we're twisting a little bit, getting our waist involved. There we go. Really getting some movement here. Twist and twisting. And we'll get a couple more out of us. We got 3, 2, and 1. Perfect job. All right, we're gonna get some shoulder movement here. So I want you to put your hands on your hips, bring your shoulders up to your ears, and drop down. Shrug up and down, up and down. Let's keep going. We'll do 10 ups and downs. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. All right. So now I want to do a shrug forward and then a shrug forward. So I'm going to start with my right arm going forward and then I go to my left. It feels weird, but I want to keep those hands on my hips if I can. And as I shrug those shoulders, I'm gently moving my body to the side. So I really want to just try to shrug, keep those shoulders up, yeah. And it might feel and look a little bit different on your end. I'm just really trying to listen to my body, get those shoulders moving. There we go. Feels a little funny, but it does feel great in your back, noticing that movement in my shoulders. There we go. All right, let's try to shrug them backwards now. So I want my shoulder to go backwards as I hold on to my waist. And I'm just gonna alternate sides again. And I just gently am twisting at my waist a little bit as I go. Any little extra bit of twisting movement is going to be fantastic for my body, so I want to just keep on moving. 2 and 1. Perfect job. Let's shimmy shake. Get a shimmy shake down our whole body, through those legs, up in the arms. There we go. We might want to reach those arms up to the sky. Get them shaken up too. There we go. All right. Let's bring those arms down. And we're gonna do a fun move. It feels a little bit silly, but we've done some silly stuff already today, so why not continue on the trend? So what I want us to do is to just gently swing our arms side to side. There we go. I'm not intentionally moving the muscles of my arms. I'm just trying to twist my body. And as I twist my arms, kind of get a life of their own and fling side to side. I do have to be careful over here with my railing right next to me so I don't smack my arms into it. But I'm just trying to keep my arms about shoulder height, just swinging and twisting, swinging and twisting. Just by using my arms and twisting this way, I'm stretching my back. I'm starting to open up there, get some movement in my spine. All right, keep going for 3, 2, and 1. All right, perfect job. Let's shake it out a little bit. Okay. All right, so we've got some good movements going in our body right now, and I think we're starting to warm up pretty good. So what I would like us to do is we're gonna go into a sequence of warriors. So these poses can be a little bit challenging, but we're not gonna go down into the ground right now. We're gonna stay nice and up. So I want you to do the best you can and see how you feel in some of these poses. So I'm gonna start out with my warrior one, which involves bringing my right foot forward, my toes face the wall in front of me. I'm gonna step my left leg back, and I'm gonna point my toes at about a 45-degree angle. So my toes are like this. I have to notice my balance and what feels good in this. I'm gonna gently bend that right knee, making sure to keep my knee behind my toes. So I can see my right toes just in front of my knee. I don't wanna push my knee over the toes. You notice it's pretty uncomfortable for your knee. For the safety of your knee, you keep your knee back beyond the toes, and you can just weasel that left leg back a little bit if you need to. And I'm gonna bring my arms up to the sky. My torso is twisted towards that front right knee, and I'm really just feeling strong in my pose, holding those arms up. My shoulder blades are dropped down my back, and I'm really reaching those fingertips up towards the sky, stretching nice and tall, really reaching up. So we're gonna keep some nice deep breaths here. Stay as strong as you can. If you need to take a breath or take a beat and straighten that right leg, that's perfectly fine. Take a beat and then go back into the pose. All right, we're working on our strength of these legs today, so it's gonna be a little tough. This is not our easiest class together, but we don't do great things by just staying in the easy lane. So let's keep on stretching tall and long, getting a little bit stronger in every single breath we take. All right, so let's give ourselves a little break here. We're gonna drop our right arm down onto our right knee. There you go. Our left arm reaches up to the sky. Be mindful of our balance here. And then when we feel balance, we can turn our gaze towards those left fingertips. There you go. You might be feeling a nice stretch in your side of your hip here. I feel a little stretch in my back and my shoulder areas. I'm opening my shoulder by pulling my shoulder back a little bit as I reach towards the sky. And as I gaze at those fingers, I'm really stretching tall here. Very nice. All right, let's stay here for one more breath. Deep breath in. And exhale. I'm gonna push into my right foot, stretch myself back up tall, okay? I'm gonna go into my warrior two, and what we're gonna do to get into that pose, we're gonna keep that right knee pretty much the same, but our left leg is gonna twist the toes out so they're at a 90-degree angle. There we go. I'm gonna reach my arms out, one in front of me and one behind me. My palms face the ground. And then I might have to weasel that foot a little bit forward to keep my knee in a nice alignment. My palms are gonna face the sky, and I'm gonna sit up nice and tall, really reaching that crown of the head towards the sky, and I'm really feeling a good stretch in that inner thigh right there. So this can be a bit challenging, but again, it's a nice strong one. Try to keep those arms nice and level, and if you need to, you can always straighten that leg out for a beat, take a breath in, and go back to it. All right, we're gonna take a few breaths here in our warrior two. You're doing beautifully. I'm proud of you for being here today. All right, so we're gonna make our way out of our warrior two into our peaceful warrior. So keeping that front right leg just where it is. My left leg is where it is too. I'm gonna bring that left hand to my left knee. My right arm reaches out in front of me. My palm flips towards the sky, and I slowly swoop and reach overhead, gazing up at those right fingertips, really stretching. You should feel a nice stretch in your inner hip here. Taking nice big inhales and exhale, inhale and exhale. Let's flip that palm back down towards the ground. Perfect. I'm gonna interlock my fingers behind my back. And just like we did earlier where we pulled our shoulder blades down the back, I'm gonna do the same thing. And then I'm gonna bend my torso down towards my front right leg, reaching my palms up to the, or my hands up to the sky, really stretching. You can always put your hands down on the mat too to keep your balance here. I'm gonna really stretch this way, helping my shoulders opening. Remember to breathe nice and deep. All right, one more big breath in. And as I exhale, I'm gonna push into that right foot and roll my body up to standing. Very nice job. We're gonna switch sides. So you can either choose to switch sides and go the opposite direction. I'm just gonna switch my feet so I can see you on my camera. So I'm gonna bring my left toes, they're gonna face forward. My right foot's gonna step back at that 45-degree angle. I'm gonna bend that front right knee. Perfect. Both my arms go up towards the sky, the palms face each other, and I'm reaching tall through my fingertips, bending through that front knee. Very nice job here. So really stretching tall, reaching tall. My fingertips might wiggle a little bit to get a little bit of movement in my arms, stretching nice and tall. Deep breaths in and out. In and out. One more big one in and out. Let's drop that left arm to that left knee, and I reach my right arm up towards the sky. I glance at those right fingers, reaching tall, pressing that left elbow into my left knee, stretching myself open. I'm opening my shoulder up a little bit further, and I can feel that stretch in the hip. Remembering to breathe here. Let's take another deep breath in. And as I exhale, I'm gonna push into that left foot. There we go. We're gonna go to warrior two. So those right toes are gonna twist out to a 90-degree angle. I might have to weasel my front foot a little bit more forward. My palms face the ground, and I stretch up nice and tall. Really reaching from the crown of my head, standing as tall as I possibly can, stretching and reaching. Being nice and mindful of how this feels here. And as always, if you need to take a beat, stretch that left leg straight and then pop it back down. There you go. Every second you're in this pose, you're just a little bit stronger than the second before, so keep fighting. You're doing great. Deep breaths in and out. All right, let's drop our right hand to that back right knee. I flip my left palm to the sky and it reaches up and over. I glance at those fingertips, stretching tall. All right, one more big breath in. And as I exhale, I'm gonna flip that palm down towards the ground. It's gonna interlock behind my back here, just like that. I pull those shoulders down, really squeezing my hands together, and I'm gonna fold over that left knee. There you go, really reaching those arms up towards the sky, stretching tall, really reaching. Let's roll ourselves back up by pushing onto that left leg. Fantastic job. I'm sure you're starting to feel it here. So let's bring both of our feet back together in the center of the mat. There we go. Should do a little shimmy shake of the hips here. Nice job. All right, so I told you we're gonna be kneeling down a little bit, so that's gonna be this portion of this class here. So, you got this, I know you do. If you'd like, you can always get a towel or a pillow to go underneath your knee if it's very sensitive, or maybe even have two mats on top of each other. But we're gonna be down just for a few moments and then make our way back to standing again. So here we go. So I'm going to bring my right toes forward. My left toes are gonna reach back here. And I'm gonna go back into that warrior one stance, okay? So my toes are at a 45, these toes point forward and I bend my knee. All right, very nice. I'll reach my arms up just for a brief second here. Leaning into that right knee a little bit, kind of pushing in and out, waving in and out a little bit. There we go. All right, so I want you to take that left hand, drop it down next to your left foot. So it's nice and firmly planted on the ground. You're gonna have to twist those left toes facing forward towards your palm, and my right arm reaches up towards the sky. I'm gonna try to glance up to those fingers. Try to look at my right thumb as I twist myself. Stretching and twisting. Noticing a little release in that hip here. Nice deep breaths in and out. In and out. All right, I'm gonna twist myself back down, planting both palms on the ground, and I'm gently gonna set that left knee on the ground, pointing the toes to the wall behind me. All right, let's roll ourselves up in a nice low lunge here. Very nice job. Arms go up to the sky. There you go, and I want you just to press into that front knee a little bit. Be mindful of how your knee feels. I don't want you to push it too far over that foot, so you may need to walk those toes a little bit forward as you push into the knee, opening up your hip a little bit here. I'm gonna keep my arms up to the sky, but you are more than welcome to hold on to the knee. Maybe have the wall next to you as a reaching out to point. So I'm just gonna gently push into my knee here. I really wanna feel it in my hip here. All right, here we go. Let's push back in, bending that knee backward. All right, let's go into a prayer twist. So I'm gonna keep that knee nice and bent. My hands come to prayer at my heart center. All right, the outside of this left elbow is gonna go to the outside of this left knee. There we go, we attach and gently twist. So I gently twist here, using my elbow to push into the knee. I keep my gaze at my palms. Remembering my nice deep breaths here. Let's take one more big breath in. And as we exhale, we're gonna round ourselves back up. Very nice. I want you to lean back onto your left butt cheek is gonna reach towards your left heel. And I want you to straighten that right leg out, slowly bringing those toes up to the sky. And we're just gonna gently bend over this right leg. All right, very nice job. So here I'm just getting more of a hip and back stretch. Go. And as I exhale, I just gently go into the stretch a little bit deeper. But I'm being mindful of that knee. I don't want you to push your knee to hyperextend it and push it down. You can always put a hand behind it to stop yourself from doing that if you notice you do that. I notice I do that sometimes on my right knee. So to keep myself from doing that, sometimes I'll stick a hand there just to say stop. All right, let's drop that right sole of the foot to the ground. I'm gonna push myself forward, bringing my palms back down next to my foot. And we're gonna do our lizard position. This is definitely I think the hardest pose of our class today. So do the best you can. It's just a little bit more of a hip stretch here. And then once we get this done, we're gonna move on to some more fun balancing stuff. So I'm gonna just gently walk my toes, or slide my foot, I guess, of my left foot backwards a little bit. And I'm gonna bring my elbows down towards the mat. If I can't bring my elbows down, that's perfectly fine. I can gently bend the elbows to lower my torso down a bit. Or if I have a block, I can lean on a block for support too. So I'm gonna just gently lean myself down. And I want to make sure to keep my knees hip distance apart on my mat. So I don't have my knees too close to each other. That would make me lose my balance and it would also not effectively stretch the hip. So I'm just gonna take a few breaths here. Go, enjoying this nice hip stretch. One more breath in. And as I exhale, I'm gonna plant my palms again. There you go. Curl those left toes in. There you go. And by gripping the mat with my fingertips, I'm gonna swing my right leg back to meet my left. I'm gonna gently push my hips up to downward dog. I know, it feels good though. And then I'm gonna step my left toes forward to go back to that warrior one position that we were in earlier. Ready? Left toes step forward. My right toes twist out to the side to that 45-degree angle. And my arms are gonna reach up to the sky. There you go. Back to our warrior one. Very nice job. All right. So I just wiggle those fingers out, stretch a little bit here. All right. And we're gonna repeat that same sequence on this side now. So I'm gonna slowly drop my right palm down next to the inside of my left foot. My toes of my right foot twist forward so they're facing my wrist here in my right hand. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. And I gently twist my torso to look at that left hand. Gentle twisting, and reaching up to the sky. Remembering my nice deep breaths here, of course. Smiling because it feels delightful, and twisting is so good. Let's take one more deep breath in together. And as I exhale, I'm gonna bring that left arm down to the ground, slowly lower my right knee down, point the toes to the wall behind me, push into that left foot. There we go. And sit up in my nice low lunge. Let's bring those arms up to the sky. Be mindful of where my knee is located over my foot. I don't want to have the knee all the way over the foot to lose my balance. I want to keep my foot just slightly ahead. And I'm just gonna rock a little bit into the hips, stretching into that front knee. You can have those arms raised up to the sky as you do this, or hold on to the knee there. Just take a couple quick breaths. Delightful. Let's press back into that left foot. We're gonna straighten ourselves back up and go into our prayer twist again. So the palms of the hand meet at heart center in our prayer position. There we go. And then we're gonna twist the outside of that right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Gentle twisting, pushing into our elbow, gently pushing into our knee. Our gaze is at those fingers. Gentle pressure here. And just remember to breathe. And as always, I really want to make sure to keep my knees hip distance apart. That's going to help me with my balance. If my knees are too close together on the mat, my balance will be slightly off. And I actually notice myself right now that my knees are a little bit too close together, and that's affecting my balance. So you can always stop and adjust yourself. No judgment, because your practice is a million times better when you're in the right alignment. And alignment is something that you always need to adjust. Every day is a little bit different in your body. So do what you need to and listen to your body. All right, let's release our hands. We're gonna press into that left foot and stretch back up. There we go. Let's go into our, that little bit of a runner stretch. So I want you to press back, reach those left toes to the sky, and I'm gonna fold over the leg here. So again, remembering to keep my knee a little micro bend, not hyperextending it backwards at all. Those toes go up to the sky. And I just gently stretch, stretch, stretch. We know that lizard is coming next, so we really want to just let ourselves get warmed up. Let that hip right now shoot backwards a little bit out the back. There you go. Let's take one more deep breath in together here. And as we exhale, we're gonna drop that left foot down, that sole of the foot reaches, our knee bends, my left hand and my right palm reach to the inside of my left foot. And I'm gonna stretch my right leg back just a little touch, just to lengthen my lizard out. And here I can either just bend those elbows, bringing myself into position, or if I can reach down to the mat or on a block or a pillow. And we'll just sit here in our lizard pose for just a couple beats. And here we go. This is the last of our super tough on the floor movements, and we're gonna make our way back to our standing balances next. And we're gonna finish strong with some fun poses today. So I appreciate you being here and really, really challenging yourself today. All right, for 3, 2, you got this. One more breath. Okay. Palms reach into the ground. I'm gonna curl my right toes under and then send my left leg back to meet it. I'll push my hips up to the downward dog here. Maybe give myself a little shake. And then I'm gonna slowly walk my hands and my feet back towards each other. Roll my body up to standing. Very nice job. You're doing so good. All right, let's do a figure 4. The standing figure 4 is a really fun balance. It is a good hip opener. It's very similar to pigeon. So we're gonna do that one next. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stand right next to my railing. And I invite you to hold on to your railing as much as you'd like today. This pose is not about, it's about balance, yes, that's one of the most important parts, but it's also about your hip mobility and opening your hips up. But if you are not able to balance properly, you're not getting any of the benefits of the pose. So it's better to have your fingertips able to graze onto something like a counter or a railing or something to help you stay balanced until you really get comfortable in the pose. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plant that right foot. I'm gonna cross my left leg over. There we go. Pushing that left knee down. There you go. I'll hold on to the railing here a little bit. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to reach the arms up to the sky. And then when I have a nice solid firm balance, I'm gonna focus on the ground in front of me. And then I gently fold. I'm going to hinge at my hips here again. We're always hinging at our hips. So the knee up, I hinge at my hips, and I'm gonna reach down towards the ground. See, even my balance is awful right now. So if I have to do it this way, I can hold on to the wall as I hinge. I plant one set of fingertips on the ground, and then I can plant the other one. There you go. If you want to keep holding on to the railing or to your counter, whatever you're next to, that's absolutely perfectly fine. The goal really is to flex those toes of your bent leg, pushing the hip backward just a little bit, really stretching. So remember to breathe as we're stretching, as we're hinging, bringing that chest closer and closer to your legs. All right, let's take a deep breath in and out. All right, let's slowly roll ourselves up. And I invite you to maybe grab onto your railing or the wall next to you as you roll up. We're gonna slowly roll up, drop that left leg down, maybe shake the hips a little bit, and we'll switch sides. So I'm gonna plant that left foot again, right leg bends, that knee pushes back just a touch, curl those toes in, and for some reason my balance is really off today, so I'm gonna hold on to this railing again too, and we'll do it together. I'm gonna reach one arm up. There we go, trying to keep that knee pointed down and away, opening my hip up here. My fingertips are on this railing, my foot is curled, and I'm gonna hinge at the hip, slowly reaching down towards the mat. Once I have those fingertips planted, I can reach that other arm down to the mat, or I can keep holding on to the railing or the wall or whatever I'm holding on to in this moment. I'm gonna slowly bring my fingertips down, kind of wondering why my balance is so off today, but you will notice in life, every day, your balance is gonna be just a little bit different, so it's something to always work on for a few minutes if you can. Keeping that balance, and I'm slowly squeezing myself a little bit tighter. My chest is closer and closer to my legs. Very nice. All right, let's take a deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. All right, maybe grab onto our wall next to us, and we'll slowly round ourselves back up. There we go. Drop that right leg. Do a little shimmy, shimmy, shake. Maybe a little hip circle like we're doing a hula hooping. Go the opposite way, of course. All right, we're gonna do a version of dancer next, just to stretch out and to hold on to something and to have some fun with our balance today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold on with my right hand. I'm planting that right foot into the ground today. There you go. And I'm gonna lift my left leg up. Kind of at a silly angle here to see, so we'll do it this way. There we go. Lifting that left leg up. If I can, I reach out and grab it, and then I'm gonna stretch it backwards here. You can also grab your leg with the first two fingers and your thumb hooking onto your toe, or even just your index finger and your thumb, depending on the length of your fingers and size of your toes, and pull that way. It's definitely a different stretch, however you grab it, but whatever feels better in your body right now. And here, I'm just actually leaning on my arm right now with my balance, so I'm not even using balance. I can lift my arm up to see how my balance feels, but I'm just stretching my body further than I would be able to if I was balancing without it. So I just want you to take a couple breaths and just explore how that feels to stretch that leg up, to really lean. There you go. Because if we try to do dancer or any pose really and work on our balance, but we don't feel comfortable in the pose, it's not going to be a good fit for us, because our body needs to feel comfortable in a position and safe. And if we try to just balance without any kind of practice, it's never an easy thing to do. So it's great to always try things out, balancing poses, holding on to something. All right, I'm gonna switch sides now. So I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna turn a different angle, so you're gonna see a different angle of me. So same thing as before though. I'm gonna hold on to my railing with my left arm this time. There we go, plant my left foot, and I'm gonna bring my right foot up and back. I'm gonna grab onto either the outside edge of my foot here, or I can grab onto that toe, and I'm gonna reach and pull up, pushing into my foot into my palm, stretching. There really reaching that leg up tall. And as I stretch, I notice the feeling in my hip, my shoulder. I really push. And again, if I feel brave, I can lift my arm up, lift those fingers off, even stretch that arm forward. And then I'm gonna slowly bring myself back down. Very nice job. All right, so we did a lot of good stretching today, and I feel like we had a very productive class. It's definitely different than our classes where we sit on the mat and do lots of different stuff that way, but different classes are always fun. So I hope you enjoyed class today. Let's bring our palms to heart center. We'll take a few final breaths together just to ground and center ourselves in our practice. If you'd like a little bit more of a cool down today, I invite you to try maybe one of the chair classes just to finish off your practice. It's about 80 degrees right now here, so there's no cooling down over here. I hope you had a wonderful day. Thank you for joining Yoga with Mom and for being here and being on the mat for yourself. I'm Jen. As always, it's wonderful to have you here. So let's just take another couple breaths in together, and then we'll say goodbye. Deep breath in and exhale. Deep breath in and exhale. And one more big deep breath in and exhale. Thank you so much for being here. It was wonderful to have you at our class, and I appreciate any kind of comment and input and suggestions from you in the comment section. I will see you soon. Thank you as always, and thank you for being with me on our journey at Yoga with Mom. Bye.